Hey there, and welcome back to By His Grace Marriage Ministry Podcast. My name's Amanda, and I'm back. Every time I say I'm going to take a break, the Ruach nudges me with something else to share. But actually, this is a question that I received via email, and I've done this before where I've received quite a bit of emails with questions or just prayer requests, things like that. Some questions I go right ahead and I email the person and I talk with them and give them my answer. Some of the questions, they stand out to me, and I feel that I should share it with others because others are probably dealing with it. It's more of like a generalized situation that's going on that a lot of people are dealing with. It's not just only in this person's life or only in their situation. A lot of people are dealing with this. So I received an email earlier with a question, and I want to share it. I've asked this person their permission. If I'm not going to go into detail about what they shared with me, I'm going to kind of generalize the situation and the question, because I do feel that other people probably need to hear this as well. And it's about asking for someone's forgiveness. And I've actually talked about forgiveness. I know I talked about it in one episode. It was called Having Grace and Forgiveness for Your Spouse, but I think I put for your husband, and it was more geared towards wives, but it's for both husbands and wives. But I'm pretty sure I've mentioned forgiveness in other episodes. I just don't know how often I have mentioned it, but I have talked about forgiveness, and forgiveness can be a very hard thing to ask of somebody or for you yourself to forgive somebody. So in this case, this person was asking me about how to ask forgiveness of someone that they feel that they've wronged, and this is their Yah-ordained spouse, okay? But they're separated. They're not together right now, okay? So this person was basically asking me advice on how to break the ice and reach out to this person. So he hasn't spoken to this person in a long time. And when they last saw each other, something had happened where I'm trying to think of the way that he put it, because he's given me permission to share, but I don't want to share too much details. I want to respect his privacy. But basically the last time they were around each other, he ended up treating her a bit poorly. And he says that has stayed with him ever since. And it's been a long time. And he's not sure how to reach out to this person and ask for their forgiveness, because this person feels sorry for what they said and what they done and just how they acted with this person, and they know that this is their Yah-ordained spouse, and just some other things that, again, I don't want to go into too much detail to protect and respect this person's privacy. But let me go ahead and share with you what my answer is to this, because, again, I have a feeling that there are probably more people out there that are dealing with this right now, whether you are in your marriage and maybe you've had a falling out, and that maybe you've said something wrong or hurtful, or you've done something wrong or hurtful and you need to apologize. Maybe, you are courting, this person, and something has happened, you need to apologize. Or maybe the two of you met, maybe you were friends, maybe you were co-workers, whatever the situation was, however you met, and maybe something took place, and you've either said something hurtful or have done something wrong or something like that. And the thing is, you've realized. So the first step is always realizing and accepting that you've done something wrong, because sadly, prideful people and even narcissistic people never. So the issue with narcissistic people is they never feel they've done wrong. They always turn the tables and say that it's the other person's fault. They never own up to what they've done, and they can never see the error of their ways. So that's number one. The other is if you're prideful, you've done wrong, but you don't want to apologize because you feel that you shouldn't have to. It's not even so much out of fear. You just feel that you shouldn't have to. That's pride, okay? So if Yahuwah or the Ruach has been nudging you to reach out to this person and apologize, especially if it's that the two of you met and then this happened and then you separated, this is delaying your marriage. This is delaying the two of you coming together. And this is this brother's issue, okay? He knows that this is what's delaying them coming together. He just doesn't know how to go about it and how to break the ice. And I understand that can be a really scary, nerve-wracking thing when you haven't seen or talked to somebody in a long time. And every fiber in your being is screaming out to you, you need to reach out to this person, you need to reach out, but you don't know how. I understand that. And most of the time, people are afraid to do that because they're afraid of being rejected. They're afraid of this person not wanting to have anything to do with them, not wanting to talk to them, not wanting to hear what they have to say, and rejecting them. And we know that rejection hurts, okay? Especially when this is somebody that you care about or somebody that you are in love with, okay? I know that can be a scary thing, especially, if I have any brothers listening to me on this podcast, listen, I understand and I'm there for you, okay? I know that you men, and I've talked about this before, you men have a lot on your shoulders. You guys have a lot of pressure that you deal with and face, right? Because men are the ones that are expected to really do everything. You're the ones expected to reach out to the woman and to talk to her, break the ice, propose, all those things, right? The secular world expects that. Yahuwah's natural design expects that. The man is the one that really is the one that is responsible for really just making the first move. I'll just put it that way. And I know that can be really hard for you men. I know that's a lot of weight on your shoulders and a lot of pressure. And I know that can cause, great anxiety and just being fearful. I get that. And it's normal to feel that way. What I do want to say, though, is that remember that fear is not from Yahuwah, okay? It's not from him. That is from the enemy, okay? More than likely, in the case of this brother and anybody else who's feeling this way, if you are already feeling I really want to reach out to this person, I really want to apologize for what I've done, and you just want to begin talking, that's a good start, because already that is the Ruach, that is the Holy Spirit letting you know you need to reach out to this person. This is the first step that needs to be taken. Now, of course, the enemy doesn't want you to do that, because once you take that step, it breaks the ice and it opens that door for communication to happen. And then, you can proceed from there. You can move forward, right? Because like I said, for quite a few people, that's what's holding up their coming together with their Yah ordained spouse. Okay. Like I said, it could be a few different scenarios. Okay. It could be the two of you met, you were acquaintances or friends for a while, and then something happened, and then you both went your separate ways, right? And during that time, it's been revealed to one or both of you that this is your spouse, okay? And now you have no idea how to reach back out to this person. Or you were courting, okay? Something happened, you had a falling out, disagreement, something like that. You've gone your separate ways. You don't know how to communicate with one another again. Or you're married, and you've had an argument and disagreement and you need to apologize, right? So that you two can reconcile, okay? Other issues as well that I have heard of, it really depends too on the person's current circumstances and obligations, okay? For some people, and I've talked about this before, I've made mention of it, people that are still in counterfeit relationships are still dealing with, I don't want to use the word baggage, but you're still dealing with things from your past, okay? Maybe you're dealing with another person, and most of the time, one of the biggest reasons of why you still have somebody else in your life is because you've either had kids with this person, there's some kind of tie between the two of you, and it's just not something that you can just get rid of overnight. And I don't mean to sound, I know that sounds terrible about getting rid of somebody like that. I don't mean it in that way. Especially if this person is the mother or father of your children. I understand that because, my son has a father that is, not my husband. Although he's not really in his life, it's not really something I've ever had to worry about or deal with, but I understand it. I understand that it's not just easy to say, I'm going to stop talking to this person. I'm going to stop communicating with this person and all this kind of thing, cut all ties because you have children with this person. I understand that. And if you are somebody that your spouse has children from previous relationship, or you do, or you both do, this is where you need to be understanding. And this is something I will talk about eventually whenever I do start the Blending Family series. This is something I will be talking about because it's not easy, okay? If your spouse has children with somebody else, you have to be understanding that they're going to still need, especially if the children are younger. Now, if the children are older, maybe not as much, but you do have to understand that they are still connected to this person because they share children, okay? And they will have to be in communication, and this is where you need to have grace, patience, trust. It's not the easiest thing to deal with, but you will get through it. Your love for one another and Yahuwah's help and strength and grace will get you through it. And again, it will be something that I will talk more about in detail when I start talking more about blending families. But anyways, it could be another reason why, this person is having a hard time reaching out and breaking the ice and apologizing for whatever it was that happened, or just simply starting communication again. So here's my advice to any of you, and this was my advice to this person as well. This is my advice to any of you who might be dealing with this, okay? If you are the person that is wanting to reach out and establish communication so that you can apologize for whatever that has taken place, okay? My advice to you is this: number one, be in prayer, okay? Because like I said, if you have been wanting to do this, that is basically the Ruach, the Holy Spirit, letting you know to reach out to this person. And not just because you need to apologize to this person, but because this is going to be the start of the two of you coming together, okay? Be in prayer and ask for courage, because again, I know it's not easy. I know how nerve-wracking it must be to, reach out to the person, whether you're calling them or sending them a text message or maybe an email, or maybe you're messaging them through social media. I know that a million things is going through your head. Do they even remember who I am? Are they even going to, listen to what I have to say? Are they even going to read my message? Are they going to completely turn me down? And I know rejection hurts, but here's what I want to encourage you with, okay? If this person is your Yah-ordained spouse, okay, number one, more than likely they've known for some time as well that you are their spouse, okay? Which leads me to the next thing. Number two, they're not going to turn you down, okay? More than likely, 80 to 90%, they're going to accept your apology and they're going to be happy to hear from you, okay? Because more than likely they've been waiting for you to reach out, especially if you're the man, okay? Because you're supposed to establish the communication first. Now, it is very possible that Yahuwah can tell the woman to reach out to the man, but it's not as common, okay? Every situation is different, but especially if you're the one that needs to apologize because you did something wrong or you said something wrong, or, and here's the thing too, you can maybe feel you've done something wrong and maybe that person doesn't feel you did, okay? But if you did, more than likely they have forgiven you already because Yahuwah has worked on them and let them know to have grace for you and to show who you really are. More than likely that person forgave you a long time ago, okay? But here's the thing, brothers and sisters, that I want to share with you. If you don't do these things because of fear, because you're worried about what the outcome's going to be, you're making it worse because one, by not doing it, you're holding off the plans of Yahuwah. Number two, by not doing it, you're never going to know. You're never going to know what could have been. Do you really want to spend the rest of your life, wondering what could have been, what would have happened, what would have been said, where you would be right now had you done it? I always say, as hard as it is, it's better to do it and know than to not have ever done it. You know, it's kind of like one of those things, and it's so sad because I know people have gone through this where they love someone and they never tell them because of, for whatever reason, fear. Usually, most of the time, the number one thing is fear. The next thing is due to their circumstances. They automatically assume the person's not going to accept them for who they are, what they've been through. Listen, I have said this before. When it is your Yah ordained spouse, there is nothing that you can share with them or tell them about your past or what you're currently going through or what you come with that is going to turn that person away, or that person is going to reject you. And if they do, then guess what? They've rejected Yahuwah's will, or they weren't the person for you. The person that Yahuwah has for you is going to accept you for who you are, what you come with, your past, everything. Some of it might not be easy to hear. Some of it, like I said, you're going to have to ask Yahuwah for strength and grace and understanding and patience, because it's not easy with what some of us come with. And again, I'm going to talk more about this in the Blending Family series, because it is hard when you're blending. It is hard when you've already had children, you have ties or connections with somebody else from the past, especially if that person that you have connections with, that you are co-parenting with, is a difficult person. I've actually heard of, and I'm not going to go into too much detail again to respect their privacy. I've actually heard of a situation very similar to this, where the ex, the other parent, is just extremely toxic, and the spouse is like trying to figure out what to do because he wants to protect his Yah ordained spouse, but at the same time he still has to deal with this other person, and it's really hard. It's a lot on that person, but I was trying to encourage that person not to give up, because that's the enemy wanting him to give up and to leave his Yah ordained marriage, and all the stuff that Yahuwah has for him. And also, it's what happens when we make mistakes too, right? When we make bad decisions. But here's the thing. It's like I've always said, when it is Yahuwah's will for you to be with this person, he will accommodate the situation. He's not going to abandon you. He's not going to tell you have to figure it out on your own, okay? He's not. He's going to be there with you every step of the way, because this is his will for your life. And when he says that this is what's meant to be and this is what's going to happen, his word does not come back void. He doesn't change his mind about it. The only one that can change your mind and quit is you. And that's what the enemy wants you to do. Okay? So going back to the initial question, if you are someone that has been wrestling with this, it's kept you up at nights, it's all you think about, and you're just like, I know I need to reach out to this person. The number one thing is, like I said, pray about it, okay? Obviously, the Holy Spirit is nudging you to do it if it's something that's been on your mind and your heart for whatever amount of time, okay? The second thing is, and another way that you know that Yahuwah is telling you need to do this, is you have a way to contact this person, okay? Now, like I said, for some of you, depending on the situation, depending on what the scenario is, some of you may have lost contact. But let me tell you something, in these days with social media and stuff, it's not hard to find somebody, okay? It's not, unless they have completely changed their identity, it's not hard to find somebody, okay? If you have a way to contact them, be it email, be it social media, messenger, something like that, or even a friend request, be it a phone call, a text message, maybe you have their number, whatever. No, they're not going to think you're being a stalker because all of a sudden you decide to reach out to them. Let me tell you something. Those are thoughts and lies of the enemy. The enemy is going to make you think all kinds of things. Don't do it. They're going to reject you. Don't do it. They're going to think you're stalking them and this and that. The next thing, no. Listen, like I said, more than likely this person is waiting for you to reach out, okay? They're waiting for you to reach out, all right? Why? Because Yahuwah is in this. He's the one orchestrating it, okay? Especially if this is what is holding up the two of you from coming together or reconnecting or coming back together, whatever that the case may be, okay? Reconciling, whatever, okay? If you have a way to contact them, okay? I know of somebody that they would start to type out the message and they would freeze. They would get scared and then they would delete it. And they did this like 20 million times before they finally sent it. And the outcome was a beautiful outcome, you know? Do not let fear plague you. And again, I know it's hard. I know it's hard, but it is worth it, okay? And you'll feel so much better too, you know? Because again, you're wanting to apologize, you want to ask for forgiveness. Listen, and don't overanalyze it either. Don't, think about it all the time. Like, what are they going to say? Or, are they going to, accept my apology? Are they going to, tell me to, buzz off? Or, listen, don't do that. Just pray about it. Leave it in Yahuwah's hands. Send that message, make that phone call, or whatever that it is you have to do. And here's the thing, like I said, if they do tell you to buzz off, if they don't accept your apology, guess what? Then that person doesn't deserve to be in your life. And that person is not the person for you, because I can tell you right now, if that is your Yah ordained spouse, if this person is supposed to be in your life, they're going to accept your apology and they're going to be so happy to hear from you. And listen, this is for brothers and sisters. When you get specific instructions from Yahuwah, you need to do it. Okay? Do not procrastinate. Do not put it off. Do not question it. Just do it and trust that what he's telling you to do is a good thing and it's for a reason. Trust him. I think that's a lot of our problems, like we're believers. And I was talking about this, I think, in yesterday's episode and the one before, where I said, he sometimes tests our faith. He wants to see if we really trust him and we really believe in him and what he says, And too often, because we're in our flesh, we question him. We question his ways. We question his word. We question what he's asking us to do. And we shouldn't be doing that, like I said, James tells us that a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. That goes back and forth, you're hot and then you're cold, it's, and then you're like, yeah, I can do it. And then you're like, no, I can't, Listen, if it's fear that you're experiencing, you're just really, really nervous, you're getting anxiety, like you're literally, listen, I understand. And I'm laughing because I've been through this, okay? I know how hard this can be. Just pray and ask Yahuwah for courage and to lead you and to guide you with the right words to say, and, just to give you that courage and that boldness, to just do what you got to do. Be that man of God. Be that man of Yahuwah, that man of valor, and just be like, you know what? I'm doing this. I need to do this. This is what he's asking me to do. This is my purpose. This is a part of my life. This is my wife. This is my woman, or this is my husband. This is my man, whatever, whoever it is that's needing to apologize. And again, trust me, I understand. I know it's not easy. I know it's not easy asking forgiveness, and I know it's not easy forgiving someone. I've been through a lot of hurt. I've shared this in my testimonies, especially with family. I've dealt with a lot of rejection and narcissism in my family, and I've had to forgive these people over and over. And, there's a saying in the world that the more you do something, the easier it gets. And that's not the case when it comes to forgiving people. It's just not. It's harder each time, asking forgiveness or, giving forgiveness is not easy. It's not. But like I said, one, Yahuwah tells us that we need to forgive, right? That's number one. We need to forgive others, okay? It doesn't justify what they did. It doesn't mean that you have to have them in your lives or anything like that, depending on the situation. But in this specific case that I'm talking about two people that have been separated, that belong together, and they're separated due to what happened, or Yahuwah just took them in those directions to work on both of them. But if you are somebody that needs to reach out and break the ice and apologize, then you need to do that. Please don't hold off anymore. You're literally delaying your blessings in your life, or at least the life that Yahuwah wants for you, you're living a life right now, but you're not living the life you're supposed to be. And if you're someone that needs to forgive and you haven't done it, you need to do that as well. I can't express to you, brothers and sisters, how important forgiveness is. It really can cause issues in our own relationship with Yahuwah, and it really can delay our blessings. And there's scripture that talks about this. If the Father forgives us, then we need to forgive those who have hurt and offended us. And I know that can be hard when someone has hurt you so badly. I know that can be so hard. Believe me, I've been there. I have been hurt so badly by certain family members, and I've literally argued. I'm going to admit this. I've literally argued with Yahuwah. I've literally cried, like, how can you tell me to forgive this person? You see how they've treated me. You've seen what they've done. How can I do that? And it takes time. It does. It takes time. It takes time. But if you're somebody that is wanting to ask forgiveness to somebody and it's been a while, and you know that the Ruach is nudging you to do this, it's time. I don't know who needs to hear this. I feel like somebody needs to hear this. So whoever this is for you. Yahuwah is saying it's time. It's time. You can't waste any more time. Like, time is running out. I don't know who this is for, but this is for somebody. Time is running out. If you don't do what he's telling you to do, what he's leading you to do, you're going to miss out. You're going to miss out. I've had people ask me, can we actually miss out on the purpose and calling and blessings Yahuwah has for us? And my answer and my understanding is yes, we can. We can absolutely miss out, and we can actually delay what he wants to do in our lives by our own actions and our decisions. Yes, we can. And again, I don't know. I feel this so strongly right now. I feel this so strongly. Thank you. Thank you, Abba, and thank you, Ruach. I don't know who this is for, but you are running out of time, and you need to do what he's asking you to do. He keeps saying, it's time. It's time for you to do this. And I told this person the same thing too, that, they definitely need to proceed and break the ice, but I don't know who this is for. It's for somebody that's listening. So here's the thing, brothers and sisters, I can't see who follows my podcast. I don't know who's listening. It doesn't show me anything. Even when I look at the breakdown of my podcast, what do you call it? Hang on, let me look and see, because I want to make sure I'm saying the right thing here so I don't sound absolutely stupid. The analytics. I think that's how you pronounce it. I hope that's how you pronounce it. I hope I didn't just sound stupid. I can only see how many plays my episodes have had. I can only see whether you're male or female, and the percentage and how many times things went. I don't know who you are unless you reach out to me. Unless you have reached out to me via email or something like that, I don't know who you are. I don't know who's listening to me or who's listening to these episodes, but there's somebody out there that's listening to these episodes, and Yahuwah is letting you know it's time. You need to do this. It's time. So I don't know who that's for, but it's for somebody, and it's important. I feel like this urgency. So yeah, I pray that this message reaches that person, and I pray it reaches those who are experiencing similar situations. So, but yeah, that is it. I just wanted to share that real quick. Again, I just was answering a question I received via email, and felt it was a question to share with all of you. So, okay, now I really am taking a break now from my podcast. I don't know when I'll be back to start the series. It could be a few days from now, a week from now, a couple weeks from now, a couple months. I don't know. I'm in a really crazy season of my life right now. So whatever the Ruach leads me to do, I will follow that and be obedient to that. So anyways, thank you all so much for listening, and I will talk with you all in my next episode. Shalom. Oh, and thank you for those that have been lifting me up in prayer since yesterday, and for those that will continue to lift us up in prayer. Thank you so very much. I really appreciate it. I love you all. Take care, and I will talk with you in my next episode. Shalom.